Hey, welcome to my video. If you're from my Instagram, I love you, and if you're not from my Instagram, love you all the same. Welcome to yet another Invisalign update. Quick disclaimer before we begin, I am not a dentist, I'm not an orthodontist, I'm not a dental professional of any kind. I'm just a girl on the internet sharing her experiences and her story. But if you need actual help and have actual questions, please always consult a professional and don't listen to me or anybody else on the internet. Another thing, if you haven't caught up with all my updates, maybe you should do so right here, because otherwise I feel like you might be a little confused. But if you are all up to date, then let's begin. So it's been a while since I did one of these, and I believe the last time that I spoke to you, I was either just about to finish or had just recently finished my first set of aligners. So as you know, I am on the moderate plan, and that means that I have potentially 3 sets of 20 aligners each included into my treatment plan. Now I say potentially because my orthodontist said that normally people don't really need the 3rd set, and once they examined me, they told me that they don't think I would need it either. So that means that if everything goes according to plan, this should be my last set of aligners. By the time you all are watching this, I am on week 8 of 20. So it's been a while, and I really haven't updated you earlier because there was just nothing to update on. Like I said the last time, I have no issues with my aligners. I really have no minimal tooth sensitivity at this point as well. And also for this second set, wearing them, time has honestly just flown by. Now I did also mention the last time that one of my bottom teeth didn't really graduate from my first set of aligners like it was supposed to, but hopefully it will now. But until then, I have to talk to you about some differences that I've noticed so far with my second set. Obviously during the first set, there's so many new things you're trying to get used to so much. And in my case, you're also taking a lot of pictures. Now, by the end there, and all throughout these past few weeks, I've really been slacking on that, and I just haven't been taking many pictures at all. And honestly, I now regret that I did that, and I'm here to tell you to take as many pictures all the time and don't slack on it at all. Because now I'm in this weird space where I feel like I'm not really making any progress with my teeth, slash, hopefully, honestly, it's not that. Hopefully, it's more of the fact that for the most part, they're pretty straight now. We just have a lot of fine tuning to do. And so maybe that's why, because the differences are more subtle than in the first go around, I am not really noticing them, you know? Hope that makes sense, but I'm sure that if I took more pictures by the end of my first set, I could look back now and see, oh no, actually, like things are happening, I'm noticing changes. But because I didn't, I am also not noticing them. But I am going to bring that up at my next appointment and, you know, ask my orthodontist, is everything going to plan? Is everything okay? The last time I was there, they didn't give me any reason to worry. They said that everything looks great. So I'm hoping it's just me really not noticing it at this point. One thing that you might have noticed though, or actually I'm not sure if you did quite yet, because I personally am under the impression that, yes, I am a yapper, but in this video specifically, I haven't really opened my mouth wide at this point. So maybe you didn't really clock my tea yet. In case you haven't noticed yet, there is something new that I've been getting used to for the past maybe 3 weeks, I believe. And it is these Invisalign elastics that I have in my mouth. I have them on both sides and I wear them all the time. So basically, whenever my trays are in my mouth, I'm also now wearing the elastics. And I got these put in not immediately at the beginning of my second set. I believe it was maybe week 5 that they put these in for me. This for me has been a learning curve, and you might be sitting there thinking, girl, it's only elastics. What do you mean a learning curve? So glad you asked, let me tell you. These have honestly been kind of tricky to put in because obviously they're elastics, so they go back into place, they snap, and it's not the absolute easiest putting them in, especially like during week 1. I was having such a hard time getting used to it, and believe it or not, there are a few different ways that you can put these in. And I'm also ashamed, but also not ashamed to tell you that I have watched tutorials of how people put their elastics in, okay? Because I just couldn't figure it out myself. And then finally, I started doing a combination of like 2 videos that I saw. So now I'm pretty skilled, if I do say so myself, at putting them in, and I think this is the best it's gonna get. I also have to tell you that as a girly who used to have very large nails. As you can see, I really don't anymore. These are not small, they're like a medium technically. And now that I have this size, it's much easier to really get in there and put the elastics in properly versus when I had the long nails. Like, I could still do it, but it took a lot of maneuvering, and I also would stab myself in my gums quite often. And because of the length of my nails, I really wasn't able to reach as far back as I needed to apply these correctly, and most importantly, quickly, because in the beginning, this took, I don't even want to tell you how many minutes, okay? Because that really is embarrassing. But now that I'm used to it, it's like a 1 to 2 minute type of job, so it's fine. Now, as far as these elastics go, I am under the impression that not everybody needs them. Some people graduate without them fully. In my case, they were needed. Now, I'm not sure how long I'm gonna be wearing them for, but honestly, even if I wear them for the remainder of the 12, maybe plus weeks, that really wouldn't be so bad, because as you can see, they're really not impairing my speech in any way. They're also not uncomfortable. Like, when I speak, I can't really feel them. And they're also not really painful to wear, although I have a little bit of a caveat. In my experience, for the first, I want to say maybe 2 weeks, if I wore the elastics for maybe longer than 6 to 8 hours, I would kind of feel this dull ache. It wasn't really a pain, and it wasn't really severe. Like, if I was doing something, for example, working or having an engaged conversation with somebody, I'd be able to push past that dull ache. It really wasn't that bad. It was more so annoying. At this point, I don't really feel that anymore. The only time I feel it still is in the morning when I wake up, because also you have to wear the elastics the whole time while you sleep as well. And so I'm not sure whether it's because they're in my mouth for a long consecutive amount of time, or if it's because I am a jaw and teeth grinder, but I'm not sure which one of the two is a contributor as to why I sometimes, well, actually pretty much every night, wake up feeling a little sore and wake up still feeling a little bit of that dull ache. But honestly, it goes away immediately as soon as I take the elastics out. One thing that did happen though was the day that I got these put in, one of the little hooks that they put on my bottom teeth immediately fell out. Let me explain. So they didn't put in any type of new hooks on my upper teeth. I hooked the elastics directly to a little hook that my Invisalign already has, but they did put 2 little hooks on my bottom teeth. And so I get this done. They explain this whole thing to me, and I go, great, thank you. I just had gotten home, okay? And I still hadn't had lunch for the day, and so I was like, okay, so let me take these elastics out and eat my little meal. And so I take one out, everything's fine. As soon as I take the other elastic out, I didn't even get to eat or brush my teeth or absolutely anything. The little hook flies straight out of my mouth. And then I had to call the office and basically go back the next day and have it put in again. So that was a bit of bad luck, but since then everything's been fine. It's just another thing in this journey that I had to get used to, but it's really, really not that difficult. And overall, thus far, this journey honestly has been more pleasant than I was ever expecting it to. For some reason, I really was under the impression that I was going to be under a lot of pain, or that this was going to be much more of a hindrance or annoyance, and it really wasn't. I think I say this in every video, but it was for the first couple of few weeks until you really get used to the routine. And especially also at that time, I personally had a lot of tooth sensitivity, so that was probably the most annoying thing. But other than that, I really was never in a huge amount of pain, and overall this experience has been very nice, and I'm actually very happy with both the experience and the results so far. But yeah, that's all I have for today. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Go get yourself a little coffee, girl. You deserve it. And if you like this video, then please consider liking, subscribing, maybe even commenting, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.